So this segment is entitled Shock Poll, $20 minimum wage backed by overwhelming majority. So,
and without any context, we can start this whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Go ahead, start the timer, and then we'll start the clip.
Okay. Starting and action. Pause button. Shit, I forgot to turn desktop audio on.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Wanted to bring you as kind of an update in terms of working people. So I covered in my monologue that you've got 350,000 UPS workers who are right now, they're organized under the Teamsters. This is the largest private sector union contract in the entire country.
For a second. What's a Teamster? Anybody tell me what the fuck is a Teamster? What the fuck does Teamster mean?
That means we decided to team up in our unionization efforts.
Teamster means mobster. That's what that meant. That's what the fuck that meant. 'Cause they're like, we got to call ourselves something different.
Yes.
While we eating pasta. And they said Teamsters.
Pasta and rigatoni.
Yeah, I don't have an Italian
And they're right now
accent, so I just
voting
said
on
something
whether
racist.
or not to authorize a strike. Now, authorizing a strike is different than going on strike, just to be
Also,
totally
look at their fucking terrible background. We talked shit about
It's
their
so
studio
bad,
yesterday.
dude. The new studio is MSNBC, but on a budget.
They're corporate as fuck.
It's real good. It's not good. And I'm sorry, but your wardrobe choice is terrible for
If
this
you ever
one.
seen Morning Joe, this looks just like the Morning Joe set. Like, different color scheme, obviously.
What's the network is that on?
That is on MSNBC.
Where
I
did
think.
Crystal Ball used to work?
MSNBC.
Oh, shit. Oh, look
yeah.
at that.
So Morning Joe, they have one fat screen in the middle of them that shows, I'm pretty sure, a picture of the White House or maybe like different Capitol buildings. That changes. And then they have other screens on the other two sides, just like they do, because it's an angled studio.
Yep.
And they have a round table that they sit at because they have multiple guests. Usually there's like Joe and Mika Brzezinski, and then there's another guy that's always there. And then they have rotating
They got a
guests
big-ass
that-
table.
Yeah, huge table.
Yeah.
Just like they have now, except this one has angles on it.
Yeah.
So
This is set up for like 5 max.
yeah, this
There's
one's a
like a flat-
trapezoid.
Yes. Trapezoid.
Yeah.
I was
Instead of a
just
semicircle.
gonna have to describe the shape because I don't.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
it's
fine.
a trapezoid.
So essentially, she's talking about a bunch of UPS union people looking to authorize a strike.
Because no UPS trucks have air conditioning. Is that?
She'll get into it.
All right.
clear. And it is expected that vote will pass because if you don't authorize the strike, you don't really have negotiating leverage in terms of your contract negotiations. But because they're organized as part of a union, they've already been able to win a significant concession. Let's put this up on the screen. Now, let's be clear that it shouldn't take any fight for workers who are, delivering our packages to get air conditioning and other heat protection in their
Pause this
trucks.
for a second. She's showing a tweet just for audio listeners.
Oh, yes,
There's
thank
a
you.
tweet now
From the official Teamsters.
Yeah, from the Teamsters, yellow check mark and all, and it says, breaking, Teamsters secure air conditioning for UPS fleet in major tentative deal. The hashtag Teamsters and UPS agreed to tentative language to equip the delivery and logistics company's fleet of vehicles with air conditioning systems, new heat shields, and additional fans.
This because we remember last summer there was a bunch of videos of Amazon workers and UPS drivers like having, succumbing to heat stroke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dropping on people's porches and shit.
Yeah. And, we've never had hot weather before. So, this seems like something that is definitely well past its due because UPS hasn't been delivering packages for decades at this point in the sweltering heat all around the globe. So this is a new revelation here. This has to be fixed right now. We need to retrofit all of our UPS trucks with heat shields and air conditioning systems.
Well, I'm sure it's very, very uncomfortable to deliver packages.
I'm sure it is
like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's real difficult to work in a fucking steel mill too, where it's super hot. They probably don't have a bunch of air conditioning. All I'm saying is this is a weird fight. This is a weird fight to be like this up in arms about. You'll hear her describe it more as she goes along, but
to be this up in arms about, yes, but I don't think that it's like a weird thing. Having been a delivery boy at one point in time, I can see we had a fine truck that did have air conditioning, but I can see why that would be a big deal.
Yeah.
To not have air conditioning in the delivery truck, because if you're fucking Johnny at work, right, and it's 109 outside and homeboy's delivering for 8 hours, you see him running in and out of the building.
Oh yeah.
So, and I think there's a difference between
working on a job site, slaving away all day, hauling 100-pound, panels or sandbags or concrete bags, whatever, all fucking day for 10 hours a day in the sweltering heat.
But these aren't the same job. Just like working in a steel mill and working a delivery truck are not the same job. In a steel mill, being around extreme heat that's part of the job. That's 109-degree temperatures that we've talked about this before. When we were kids, it didn't get to 109 here.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
And I mean, I've dealt with on the job site people starting to enter heat stroke and shit like that.
And I think there's also a difference between working construction where you're outside and you're in a truck.
Yeah.
The cars come with air conditioning.
I might be reaching here just because I have issues with this whole concept. I'm like,
yeah.
Because we've never had to work in hot environments before and find ways to get around it. But hey, I get it because I wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do it either. But that's also why I don't go work for UPS. I had at one point signed up for some fucking job selection service or whatever online, and I still get text messages every day. Almost, it's like once or twice a week now. It's like, UPS wants to interview you. I'm like, no, they don't. Goodbye. I'm definitely not doing that.
I'm not saying that I think that it's like a human right or anything to have air conditioning in your truck, right? That's not the argument that I'm making.
Yeah.
I do think that it's a reasonable expectation to have that if you're going to work in extreme heat that you have air conditioning in your truck. Like, I think that's reasonable.
Okay. What about the doors open? I see them dudes flying with the doors open all the time. I just love that concept.
So think about driving in your truck. There's a difference between having the windows down and having the air conditioning on.
Fucking right there is.
You can drive with the windows down. I do it. I don't like to drive with my air conditioning down because I'm a fucking poor person in my brain and I don't like using the gas like that. But because it uses gas quicker, right? But
yeah, because you got to keep that compressor going.
Right. But there is definitely a difference. You're definitely more comfortable with your air conditioner on than with your door.
Because the humidity is not involved. I mean, it's a good. And then you step outside and your sunglasses get all fogged. That's a good sign. And you're like, I was really comfortable for a minute, and now I'm not.
If you delivered packages for 8 hours a day, you would want to have air conditioning in your truck.
This is true. This is true.
That's what I'm saying. So I think there's a difference between wanting to have air conditioning and like I said, she's overboard.
She's going, you need it because you're going to die.
Right. The shit about the human rights stuff, this is too much. It's not a human right to have air conditioning in your truck.
No.
It is a reasonable expectation, I think, to have
especially in 2023.
I think so.
Because at that point, you're asking a manufacturer to not install a standard system.
Because it's cheaper.
Because be like, no, don't. I don't want the standard package. I want the contractor's package.
Right.
Comes with a fucking AM radio and roll up windows.
Yes, precisely. It is like ordering a car with a tape deck because you know it will be cheaper.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing to do.
It's super crazy. All right, we carry on.
Welcome to the south of the streets, coming at you every week.